Have you ever wanted to chuck it all and move to Antarctica? I'd like to say me neither, but that wouldn't be entirely, accurate. So let's find out. Can you just pack up and move to Antarctica? If you're a citizen of either Argentina, Australia, Belgium, Chile, France, Japan, New Zealand, Norway, South Africa, the Soviet Russia, the United Kingdom or the United States? The answer is a resounding not really. Not without your country's permission, that is. These are the 12 original signatory states of the Antarctic Treaty, which entered into force in 1961. In accordance with Article 10 of the treaty, they require that individuals submit an application for permission to travel to Antarctica. Now, if you're granted permission, you're good to go, anywhere in Antarctica. But if you're not, which, given the rather large number of requirements, seems the more likely scenario, then things get interesting. Unlike national law, international treaties, such as the Antarctic Treaty, primarily apply to states, and only indirectly, if at all, to individuals. But according to international law, national jurisdiction may only be exercised on the basis of a number of principles. Countries can of course exercise jurisdiction on their own territory. 7 countries currently maintain territorial claims in Antarctica. While these claims are generally not recognized by most other countries, the claimant nation would probably be especially eager to remove you in order to strengthen their claim. Chile even went as far as to send to one of their bases a recently married couple, so that a year later the first baby both conceived and born in Antarctica would be Chilean. So if you settled in one of their territories, chances are you wouldn't last very long. Of course, you could be extra bold and settle in the area simultaneously claimed by Argentina, Chile and the UK and see what happens, but you'd obviously be on very thin ice. So, things aren't looking too good, right? After all, Antarctica has already been claimed by several countries. All? Not quite. A surprisingly large region called Mary Birdland has not been claimed by any sovereign nation, so there's no one to stop you. And these will keep getting worse. Anyway, since the Antarctic Treaty prohibits new claims or the enlargement of existing claims, thus freezing the status quo, the situation isn't likely to change in the near future. So, Mary Birdlands it is. Unless, of course, you're a citizen of one of the signatory states. The nationality principle allows countries to exercise jurisdiction over its own nationals for acts outside its own territory. Which is also why Japanese nationals can be punished for using legal marijuana upon their return home. However, if you're not a citizen of a signatory state, this shouldn't worry you too much. But even if you are, not all is lost. You can always renounce your citizenship, which, if you're an American, will cost you about $2,000, but is otherwise a surprisingly simple process. So if you're not a threat to the national security of a country or its citizens, you have nothing to worry about, other than the universality principle, which allows states to claim jurisdiction based solely on the nature of the act. The universality principle is somewhat controversial and polarizing, but so far, jurisdiction over piracy, war crimes, and torture has been accepted in international law. The details are a bit murky, but to finally put my law degree to good use, settling peacefully in Antarctica likely wouldn't be grounds for exercising universal jurisdiction. Probably. I suppose. So, don't litter. Be nice to the penguins. Don't talk about the secret Nazi pyramids, ever. And take your poop with you when you leave, and surprisingly enough, legally you should be fine. Just like His Royal Highness Michael I, Prince of Sealand, you'd probably be ignored by most major nations. They'd likely give you the cold shoulder for fear of causing diplomatic upset.
But surely it's way too cold to actually live there.
Well, Antarctica's population, comprised mostly of research staff, fluctuates between about 5,000 during the summer and about 1,000 during the winter. While temperatures at the pole can be as low as -80 degrees Celsius, along the coast it's relatively warm during the summer, and even your average winter day isn't that much colder than a cold winter day in Fennoscandia. Explorer Sir Ernest Shackleton and his crew of about 27 men got stuck in pack ice in January of 1915, and even though their ship eventually sank, the men managed to survive for over 600 days. Make sure you have adequate shelter and a way to stay warm. Keep a cool head. Bring plenty of water and food. Oh, and be aware that you'll be very isolated, since you may be up to 1,000 kilometers away from the nearest camp. Something as minor as appendicitis, a surprisingly common problem in Antarctica, is going to kill you, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. So can you move to Antarctica? It's obviously a very stupid, albeit very fascinating idea, and I don't recommend it. Just don't sue me, okay? But if you really wanted to and didn't get cold feet, yeah, you probably... no internet. Oh, f***, you can't. Like and subscribe, unless you hate Penguin Jesus. Liechtenstein, Monaco, Qatar. Why are the richest countries monarchies? Find out next time, and hasta la vista, baby.